and you
I'm
can't.
not touching their stuff.
I have no idea.
You don't know?
No.
Okay, then we're off and running with our experts.
During
I've
the
been having a
C
wood
word
shortage.
process, well, that can happen as you get older in life. Come on, man. This is a joke.
You put cologne on your butt?
Well,
So in order to play, you have to wear jorts.
I don't have George. I could probably wear a Speedo now.
Want to do that? No, you probably could.
He'll be over here tomorrow digging out a big-ass bush.
Sonny and share, like and share, whatever.
Yeah.
Just something and share.
Yes, hello. Hey, it's Gamble and Finn, another edition, episode, whatever you want to call it, of Larger Than Live, Season 2, Episode 11. That's 2 1s. But
Yes.
I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not great with dates or anything, but I do believe this is a special show, right?
Absolutely. This pretty much, I think we're one day off. It marks our 1 year anniversary from our very first Season 1, Episode 0. It was our test drive episode.
Right, testing.
Test 1, 2. And if you remember some of the great highlights, we can probably intersperse them in. But there are a couple that I seem to remember very vividly. And that was we got everything set up. And at 1 minute till 7, we were ready to go. And then what happened? All right, that's Episode 1. I think that was
It is. Are we done?
I think
We're done now? Hey, listen, I told him start about 10 till.
I don't know if they can hear. Maybe you can hear.
Right.
But welcome to our first test drive of Gamble and Finn, Louder Than Live. Larger Than Live? Larger Than Live.
Larger. You don't even know what the hell the name of
I
it
know.
is.
It's gone back and forth so many times. And we did invite the neighbor to start cutting his grass right
Right.
at 7 o'clock. Well done. The neighbor fired up his lawnmower.
Oh no! I thought it was more of a technical. Right, that was the dude across the street, one down. We're like, really?
Yeah, we had 1 minute to go.
Yes.
And
Right. But you realize that was just that the ambiance. So if you're going to be outside, right,
Right.
and you're going to have some of that. We had. I'm trying to think. What did we ever have? We had the neighbor's air conditioner kicked on.
Yeah.
I don't know that was that night, but it was definitively while we were outside.
And if I'm not mistaken, were we backwards?
Yes.
Or was everything shot
Yeah,
backwards?
everything was
'Cause,
shot backwards.
Well, let's just say we've come a long way,
Yes,
baby, here to
look at
Season
it.
2, Episode 11. We never thought we'd make it here, and we couldn't have made it this far if it wasn't for the support, and we should probably thank all our sponsor.
Right. Oh, you
Field Collective, you guys rock. We appreciate it. One day we're going to get over there and have a meeting. You need to do the same thing if you need office space but don't need an office. Field Collective will get you set up. And we need to get over there and have a beer
We do.
and just talk about what we want to
Right.
talk about.
Well, and maybe what we need to do is put an S on the end of sponsor.
Yes, that would be nice,
That
too.
would be, since we're into Season 2, I don't know, perhaps. You know what, though? We'll get together with the marketing and sales team.
Do we
Also
have
the production
who's al-
team.
who is also craft services and
Right, we got a lot of stuff. I mean,
our
we
key
can-
grip.
By the way, if you're looking for someone to execute, I don't know, something that you just want executed, call us because we can do it for
Just
you.
let us know. In fact, we'd love to execute lots of things.
Right. And I'll tell you what, we work damn cheap. Oh, lots of, I might replace the word things, but
A couple of
we
free
work-
T-shirts gets the job done.
In fact, I will tell you, honestly, we might even pay you.
No, stop it. We currently are. But honestly, no,
Yes.
and it's funny. We'll get to what it is, why we're wearing what we're
Yes.
wearing. You probably already know, but we're very excited because
We
this
are.
week actually marks the formal beginning of Larger Than Live on location at the Moorline Lager House.
Right.
And we'll tell you more about that coming up. But before we go any further, I want to, and it's awards season, and I know how much this means to
Love
both of us.
Oh, I
Are you
love
going to watch the Oscars?
I have no intention whatsoever.
Well,
Never
that's-
have, never will.
That's good because they were last night.
Oh, they were? Damn. You know what? There are a couple things that I circle on the calendar, and I hate it when I miss them, and that is one.
That's one of them. Well, I'm just gonna tell you. Here's what you missed.
Yes,
okay.
well, can I guess?
Yeah. Actually, if you want to, yeah.
Okay, so we had panning, and this is just from highlights that I didn't see any obviously now because I didn't know there, but they pan the crowd and they show all these people that are just miserable, insufferable human beings known as actors and actresses who are just white collar criminals. Let's see. We had to have lots of lengthy, nonsensical speeches about somebody's been, vilified, injustice for all, all that nonsense
Well-
because that's all they're telling us something politically, something about COVID. All that was there a mix of all of that in.
Well, honestly, what was weird is they did it. I turned it on. And I'm like, oh, this is on. So was looking at them like, they weren't in a theater. They were in a couple of train stations they had set up, and it was kind of poorly shot. It was awkward.
Think about what
And-
you just said. Poorly shot.
Yeah. And then there were only a couple, like they didn't have all the celebrities. It was mostly the technical awards that I saw. But having the guy that was up there for editing telling me about how we deserve better than living in a country where 100 people are shot a day. I don't know if you're familiar with that statistic,
No, I'm
but
not.
apparently he was.
Okay.
But having the guy who edited a short film tell me how that we should be doing this and that, just say thank you and thank your mom
Right.
and your
Yep.
dad for having sex, which is what a couple of people did, and move on.
Or
Move
better
on.
yet, if you're so concerned about living in that country, I'm sure you're doing a ton to try and eradicate that.
Yeah, and when you go out to your security guy that gets you
Right,
from point A
yeah.
to point B, who's defending you with nunchucks and his bare fists for
that's-
bare knuckle brawling, you can tell me about that.
And it's funny you bring that up. That's why, and it goes for me. I won't watch sports award shows either because it's all the same people, and then they try to. I love they try to mix like the music industry into the sports awards and all that. And all of these people, they're living lives that none of us ever will live.
Right.
That's why I don't want to hear from them.
Well,
I just don't.
And it spills over. It's now spilled over into the advertising.
Oh, it's bad.
Every ad
Yep.
was about social justice this or let's all do this. And it's all of this and I know advertising is supposed to be aspirational.
Right.
But these guys have put the ass in aspirational because there's all of these things that you can preach at all you want, Target and Adidas and everybody else.
I saw the
The one
Adidas
with
right?
Beyonce?
Yep, I just
yeah,
saw
that
it.
makes
Yep.
perfect sense.
Right.
Adidas and Beyonce go together like
Well, that's my point. That's sports and music, and you know you're right. And it's almost like in their categories of business, they have to see it. It's like we better do something. It's not. And it's so to me, it's so disingenuous.
Well,
It really is.
that's the thing. It's not honest. And the
Correct.
thing is, I get it. I mean, you go all the way back to the United Colors of Benetton. You remember that?
Oh,
They
yeah, I
had
do.
it was
Absolutely,
usually
I do,
kids of all different nationalities wearing the clothes or whatever. That made more sense to me than a lot of this nonsense that we're seeing now in all of these ads because they are creating these phony baloney scenarios that are never ever
you're right.
going to happen. The only person that got it right last night, the only person, I would encourage you, if you didn't see it, go back and there's the irony is thick with this one, young Skywalker. It was some sort of humanitarian award given from Hollywood to Tyler Perry. Now, you know why that's ironic? Because Tyler Perry said, up yours, Hollywood. I'm creating my own studios in Georgia, and I'm going to give all these opportunities, and I'm going to build my wealth. And he did off this Medea character. And I did not know all of the things he has done from a humanitarian standpoint. This guy is a champ.
Well, see, and that's what I mean.
Very
I mean,
quietly.
they're right. Well, most of the people, quite honestly, who do a lot, they don't do it for the notoriety.
Well,
They
and
don't.
go back and watch the presentation to him. It was Viola Davis who gave it to him. And then when he accepted, he talked about his mom and what his mom taught me. He said, I don't wake up wanting to hate somebody. I don't hate somebody because they're black. I don't hate somebody because they're white. I don't hate a police officer just because they're a police officer. I don't want to hate. If you guys want to meet me in the middle, that's where I'll be. And that's where all the conversation and all the healing begins. And I thought, you know what? I've always heard about this guy. I knew he was kind of an outsider. The fact that Hollywood is now trying to take credit for him to some degree is unbelievable. But what this guy has done during COVID, and go back and watch, if you go back and watch anything, there's two things I want you to go back and watch. Well, you don't even have to watch the second one because I'm going to perform it for you.
Oh, can't wait for that.
Are you ready?
Yeah,
I'm
not
going
ready.
to, and I've been practicing this since the moment I saw it.
Okay.
This is my impression of Reese Witherspoon, another known thespian and social justice warrior, who got up and was presenting an award for animation.
Okay. Well, that makes
And
sense.
she said, yeah, because she's
Right.
drawn like a
That's
cartoon
right.
anyway.
Yeah.
She got up and she said, I remember the first time my mother took me to the theater, the giant screen, and it was an animated feature. And we went to see The Secret of Nim. It was a Disney movie,
Right,
Secret
yep,
of
yep.
Nim. And she said, and this is where she got me. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of cute. You know, Mom,
Right.
animation was your
Makes
first. That
sense,
makes what
leaning
sense.
into the award.
And then
right?
she looked right in the camera and she said, that's where I got my first sense of a strong woman, a strong. She talked about Mrs. Birksby or Bixby or whatever.
I think it was Bixby,
my first strong woman.
Yeah.
She's a cartoon mouse.
Right. Yeah.
Mrs. Bixby is a cartoon mouse.
Well, but
that
a
was her
strong one.
Her first example of a strong woman was a cartoon mouse. If that's the stretch you have to make, shut your pie hole. It doesn't make any sense at all, and you're not doing anybody any good by pretending that that's relevant to anything.
It's not.
Anything.
It's not, but that's the way they operate.
God.
I mean, that's the problem. Again, in most people who really do good or who believe in causes and put something behind it, they're not pontificating about it.
Right.
They're just doing it.
Well, rich people don't have to tell you they're rich.
They don't.
Same
Well,
kind of
they
thing.
shouldn't.
Tyler Perry doesn't have to tell you everything he's doing. He's just doing it.
Well-
and when she said that, I was sitting in the house by myself. I think I scared Calvin because she goes, "That was my first experience with a strong woman." I go, "Fuck you." I was like, "Oh man." I just yelled it out myself in my own house by myself. But that's how much it triggered
Right.
me to get just like, are you kidding me?
Well, I'll go this with, and this is different, but it's superficial people. You're right. Rich people shouldn't have to, but those who do, they're the ones that nauseate me.
Yeah.
On all levels. Like, dude, like it's honestly like, and look, I've never met LeBron James, likely never will. I don't know whether he's a decent guy, bad guy, whatever. But the problem is, it's those same people who here's what gets me. Something happens that he is not related to,
Right.
in any way, shape, or form. But he has to give us his opinion.
Right.
Those are the ones that
Well,
drive me
but
crazy.
that's when they say, well, you tell me I'm supposed to be a role
Right,
model.
I know.
You tell me I'm supposed to be a role
Well,
model. And that's
okay.
where I'll give Charles Barkley credit. He's like, I'm not a role model.
But here's the deal: if you think you should be a role model, then just lead by example. You don't. I don't. It's not opinions I need.
Well-
Let other people see how, in theory, they should act.
Especially where recently with King James, he fires and then pulls back because he didn't have
Right.
all the information. So
Well,
then he gets
or-
savaged
yes, he
by
does
all
that.
the people who are like, don't do that.
Either that, or somebody in his little, whatever you want to call it, little posse told him, you probably shouldn't have. Oh, okay, then I'll go. See that.
Then he
that's
deletes
even
and
worse.
pulls back like
Right.
it never happened. And again, it's just the whole thing last night. And this is where we go back to the advertising. I know you focus group the shit out of this stuff, and I know that why you do this. But here's what I would love to. We have this ability. I guarantee you this ability exists because everything that you watch on your TV now that so much of it is app based. I would love to have the opportunity when a commercial is on for there to be three choices: love it, hate it, go F yourself. Because then the people that made these commercials and these clients could get an actual sense of what Joe Average sitting out watching TV thinks of their hypocritical nonsense. All of these things that they're creating are they're fantasy. I mean, I go back to even back in the day, and I'm not saying I'm not for this, but I'm just saying go back to a TGI Fridays commercial. Remember them? Yes. TGI Fridays. And I remember seeing a commercial, and it's like, and this was 25 years ago. Everybody's sitting around with the red and white stripe tablecloth and the people with the, hey, we're going to get you another Long Island iced tea or whatever. Two white people, two Asian people, two black people sitting at the table.
Yeah.
You see that all the time at Fridays.
Everywhere I go, I'll see it at lunch.
Everywhere.
Yeah. Right.
Stop it. Stop it.
No, all right.
Just let people just enjoy being people with themselves. Every
But
couple on an
unfortunately-
ad right now is a mixed race couple.
No question.
They're doing all
Yep.
of these things to create this world that doesn't right now exist, and it's not helping make it exist. I guess is my point.
Well, here's
I'm not
what
saying it shouldn't, but that's not making it exist.
But when it does exist, it just exists. You don't
Let
have-
it- let
isn't
it be.
planned. Right. I
Right.
don't. That's the problem. Is everybody's trying to put placeholders in for what they think it's supposed to look
Right.
like based on the climate.
Here's an idea.
Yeah.
If you see a mixed race couple out in public, don't look at them and
Right.
think that there's something wrong with that. I don't need it in my ads. What I need to do
Right.
is
You're
that let the
correct.
world around us go, okay, they love each other. That matters.
Right.
To be honest with you, I'm adopted. If a gay couple wants to adopt a kid and put it in a house that's in a loving house,
Yep.
I think that's fantastic. I don't need it in my advertising.
Right, I'm with
I
you.
need it to be real. And advertising, they were, and again, the same people. When COVID hit, we're all in this together. The only people who believe that were the ad agencies.
Yeah.
So we're right back to
That's
square one.
By the way, that's still going on. Some of that.
Oh, I know. It's ridiculous, but it's one of those things. And watching an ad for a car commercial or whatever the one was last night, I'm just like, this isn't changing anything. And this is why it doesn't change, because that stuff comes out and everybody thinks, well, they're addressing that. I don't need to do that.
Right.
You know, and not one person is going, I'm going to rethink my thoughts on such and such. It's in here. It's in here. It's not. I don't know.
It's funny. I love.
I'm
By the
probably
way,
just digging myself a hole I can't get
that's
out
okay.
of.
Well, you've that's been going on for years.
Yeah,
It's all
that's
right. It's
true.
Gamble and Finn. It's
I
larger
can
than
barely
life.
get out
Your
of
season
anything.
2, episode 11. I'll take this though. Don't forget, by the way, we have plenty of extras. Check out our YouTube channel
Mm-hmm.
during the course of the week. We have little things that require little minuscule amounts of time. But maybe the things we feel the incessant need to get off our chest.
I got a couple good ones. I have a job opportunity for you coming up in one of the
Really?
extras. Oh, yes, I
Okay.
do. And
Well,
if
you know
you don't,
what?
if you don't apply for this one, I am.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. I like that. But
Oh,
I
you're gonna
gotta
love
tell you,
this.
I was watching, I'll even tell which ad it was. I was watching a TV the other day. It was on, it might have been during the Reds game. It was Tom Gill Chevrolet, which
Yeah.
is literally right at the exit where you get off where we live. And it was Tom Gill talking about how going through the car buying experience and how, you don't need some nameless, manager coming out from the back. Here you'll only meet, and I know you, because you're the one who wants to take the photograph of what the meal you just ordered to the restaurant and go, I want this.
Right.
And I thought to myself, and you know what? I love the ad. And I thought, you're right. That's the way it should be.
Right.
And it makes you want to go. It almost makes me, if and when we need a new vehicle, to go there and just go in and just see.
Okay.
Right? Told you care about me from the start to the finish. You're not going to go in the back. I think he called it like a nameless whatever. And I thought, that's the way that nobody wants that.
You know why? Because
Yes.
that was honest. Because
Well,
it sounds like we're contradicting what we just said, that advertising isn't going to change your behavioral patterns. It can change your behavioral pattern, but it's got to change. It's got to click with the way you think.
Well,
first,
right, and that
with
mean-
what you
no,
you know
and
what I
that's-
mean.
That's the part. I don't think, for me personally, I don't think there's any worse experience out there from a retail standpoint than car shopping. I mean, from the time you park your vehicle, get out, you can't take 8 steps before Fred's yelling something. He's stepping out, and then that process is usually a brutal one. So
Well-
it made me go, you know what? I will say it worked, because it made me say, if they have a vehicle that I want, I'm giving that a shot.
Give it a try. You will
Yes,
give it a try.
correct.
And maybe if these other ads that we were talking about before at least make you think, okay, well, I would change my attitude towards that. But the way these ads are put together, they don't. Something like that which is a singular experience for you that you want to do. Yes,
Right.
I would tell you the key to car buying for me isn't selling me the car. It's following up with
well,
me
that's it.
and staying on top of the service. My dad bought a car from a guy and he said, look, if you treat me right, I will buy every
Everyone.
car
Yeah.
from you. And he did. And that guy probably sold him 12 cars over the course of my growing up in that house.
Friend of mine from high school, his dad would literally do his research, take out a piece of paper, put down exactly what he wanted, all the options, etc., and the price he was willing to pay, walk into the dealership, drop it off, and say, here's the deal. If you can do this, if you have this color, this interior,
Yeah.
all of this, and you can do it for this price, all you have to do is call me. I'll be right back. Easiest sale you'll ever make. The second I walk in and something changes, we're not gonna haggle. I'm just leaving.
Right. And then once you've sold it to me, care enough to
Right,
see how I
right.
like it. Is there anything I need? I mean,
Did you get the letter or the card at least thanking you? They usually send like some, you know what I mean.
Oh, you know what I did get?
Okay,
I got
yes.
a thing, and this is my other favorite thing in marketing. I got a handwritten note, Fred, from a guy who my car is in demand right now.
Okay.
For used
I've
cars.
gotten
And
plenty
it's
of these.
time for
Yep.
me to think
Sure
about
it
maybe
is.
getting my car to them. And he'd really like the opportunity
Every car's in
to
demand,
sit and talk with me about it. This little handwritten note. In fact, you know how I know it was handwritten? There was a little smudge
Yeah,
kind of in the
right.
ink. And then the next day, I got another one with a handwritten note with the same smudge in the same place from the same guy.
Yeah, from the same printer.
Yeah, exactly.
out so good.
So come on.
Yeah,
Come
right.
on.
I
Well,
know.
I'm not. I was born during the day, but,
But
not
here's what I would
yesterday.
tell you.
Stop that.
Here's what I would tell you, though. These things obviously work.
They work.
Or they wouldn't do them.
Yeah, because most people are complete fucking idiots.
So
But,
how long have you had your car?
Almost 3 years. My lease is almost up.
Okay.
And they really want it back, but I traded in a car and got value against it. So I don't know if I want to roll into another lease or just pay this one off.
So
I think
let me
I'm just
ask
going to
you,
pay this one off.
How many times have they contacted you just to see?
Oh, 20. It's been 20
They have.
times. Yeah.
They have.
Oh, no. See how I'm doing?
See
Or
how
see
you're
if I
doing?
want to turn
No,
it back
see
in?
how you're doing.
Once after about 6 months after I bought it, and then oddly enough, then when I left my current place of employment, no one seemed to care. In fact, I remember I told you the story. I went in for
did.
recall work.
Yeah, you did.
I went in, I scheduled my appointment. I got there
This is
early.
pretty good,
Went over to the service manager, and he goes, "Oh, you're in for the such and such thing with the such and such car." I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Are you having any problems with da 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 da?" I go, "No." He goes, "I wouldn't do it." Excuse me? It's still now flagged on my account that I haven't had this work
Right,
done.
we haven't-
Then a week later, they said, "Well, clearly you missed your appointment to get your recall work done. Can we reschedule?" I called back, left 2 messages, and I sent an email saying, "I was there. Your service manager told me I didn't need
Yeah.
to do it, but I'm still flagged as not having done it." So I guess I don't know. It's just the follow through. I just want to see some follow through, and that's a common theme that we've had over everything,
Follow
job
through.
searches and everything. Just follow through.
Hey, by
that's
the way,
all.
we probably should tell people. I mean, we're wearing these shirts because we like the Moorline Lager House,
Sure.
but it's
Had
deeper
lunch there
than that.
yesterday.
We did, and it was outstanding. They have a great Sunday brunch.
Yes.
Which I'm not a brunch guy, but that's okay. I just had the burger without the egg.
Right.
You guys had the burger with the
It's
egg.
a very clever combination of breakfast and lunch
It
foods.
is.
It's
You
not
know
just eggs and a big pan of bacon.
Correct.
And some like hot dogs.
Oh yeah, and they've got the regular menu too, but it's a great atmosphere on Sundays there. But I bet it's even going to be better on Wednesdays. right?
Wednesdays. Why Wednesdays?
Because we're going to be there hosting a party. If and when the Reds play, even when they don't, we're there like the first Wednesday, this Wednesday, between 5 and 7 p.m. out on the Schmidlap event lawn. Temperatures warming up, nice today. Temperatures getting up there where we want it to be.
Well, and if you don't know what the Schmidlap event lawn, if you've been to the
Yeah,
Lager
right.
House or you've been to Great American Ballpark, there's just this big open lawn. The Parks Commission runs it. There's a stage at the
Yep.
far end down toward Paul Brown, but that about a third of that lawn is kind of carved out, and that's the Moorline Lager House outdoor beer garden.
Right.
Now, the
Yep.
cool thing is, if for some reason it rains or God forbid snows again,
no, we're done with that.
we can just move to the indoor beer
right.
garden, which is where we did opening day because of snopening day. So we're good to go every Wednesday until we don't. But
And it was really cool. I know they've got that for those who haven't been down there. You got to check it out because right out facing the lawn, they have kind of a, for lack of a better way to phrase it, a concession stand, if you will, where
Yeah.
you don't even have to go inside.
Outdoor bar, yeah.
Outdoor bar, and you can hit it up out there. And it's really cool. A lot of people were out enjoying because yesterday, after we got the fog and cool temperatures to lift,
Yeah.
it got very, very nice. The sun came out, and it's just a cool place. We'll be hanging out. We've got we'll do some trivia, some chance to win prizes, play some tunes, have an occasional guest or two, and pontificate like we always do.
Yeah, we're just going to be shooting one of these shows.
Yep.
It's sort of like our house guest edition on Wednesday nights, but we'll shoot it
Right.
5 to 7 and then push it out a little bit later on in the evening. But if you'd like to be part of it, please come on down.
Come on down, hang out with us.
We shot, it was funny yesterday because, like you said, the sun finally came out. We went and shot some different promos that you'll be seeing here and there. And that was a lot of fun to do. But what was most fun is it's always kind of fun. And I've kind of forgotten about this from doing the radio stuff. When people walk by and they're looking over like, what
yeah.
are you doing when you
What
have
are you doing?
microphones out
What
or
are you
camera?
doing?
And,
Yep.
you know, Lori had all the sound gear set up and everything. And they were just like looking over going, what? But they're afraid to ask you.
Right.
But there was
No.
there was one lady, we were standing by the stand-up sign with our picture, with our images on there, and we were standing on either side on our respective sides, and she goes, which one's Gamble and which one's Finn?
Right, yeah.
And her husband goes, well, he's probably Finn because it says that on the back of his jersey.
Yeah, right, he did. No, he did. But in fairness, could she see the back of your jersey?
I don't know if she saw it or
He
not.
did, obviously.
Yeah.
He still must have seen us walking around. But hope you join us every
fun.
Wednesday. So every Wednesday, this week we'll be talking Little Reds, but some draft. The NFL draft, of course, is Thursday through
Yeah.
Saturday. And just a little bit of everything.
Yeah, just having some fun, and it's if you're running around downtown, maybe you're after work,
Yeah.
or you just and honestly, here's the thing I'd tell you: maybe the smartest part of this would be avoid the traffic. If you're going to be down around that area,
absolutely,
or
yeah.
you can scoot in easily, you can avoid the traffic after work, getting out of downtown or whatever, and come down and have a few beers. Honestly, that's what we're going to do.
Absolutely, we're going to do that. And in one of our extras, I have at least a suggestion
On how to
There's
fix?
no solution. I'm convinced that we live here, and it's just going to be like this forever. And it's just,
Okay.
I didn't realize I was living in Chicago. I really did. You could probably traverse Chicago
Yeah.
easier than flipping northern Kentucky to Cincinnati. It's a goddamn joke.
Well, there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to why it was done. Even getting over to today, instead of running the normal route around 275, I went into Clifton and then had to worm my way around. And honestly, they've changed the green highway signs to orange. You cannot miss 71 is closed, take 471, and yet I was almost in a 6-car pileup
Right, I know.
because some jackhole, it is Prius, stopped on the on-ramp to 471 coming off of Reading.
Makes no
or
sense.
whatever it is there.
I
Yeah.
don't get it.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to talk about something that's going really well right now?
What's that?
How about them Red Legs?
Oh God.
Huh? How about them Red Legs? We get to watch them later tonight. Now the reward for the Reds is now they get to go to L.A. and play the Dodgers. Now I'm gonna make a prediction here for you. All right?
They're gonna win. They're gonna win the series.
I think they are.
Oh no.
No, I think they are.
There's
It's weird.
No
No,
way.
I'm telling you, it's weird. I know they've lost 7 in a row. They're now. And think about this. They got up to that 6-1 start. Opening day, really the beginning of opening day, the game was the only disaster with the exception of the temperature. Then they reeled off the wins. Now they can't literally win a game. They've lost 7 straight. They are in last place, multiple games behind Pittsburgh. And I got to tell you, oh boy, it's really been bad.
And this all bullpen related? Do you think?
No, it's
all
I
bullpen
think it's
because
a
they lose a game where they score 11 runs.
No, you're correct. It's been so it's a combination of 3 things: bullpen, very untimely hitting, and Luis Castillo has been god awful. He's been awful. They're hitting like yesterday. So what? 2 nights ago, or wait, today is Monday. It was the Friday night game in St. Louis where they were down. They battled back 5-4, bases loaded. Suarez hit a 3-0 count, struck out on ball 4. Right? Yesterday, they rallied again. They can't do anything during the course of the game, but they rallied in the 9th. Bases juiced again. Tucker Barnhart grounded out to first. So they're not getting timely hitting. The starting pitching's been, for the most part, spotty at best, and their bullpen sucks. Now, yesterday, but it's weird. Some days the bullpen doesn't give up any runs. Other days they can't get any outs, which I hate to bring this up. And you know me, I'm rooting like hell for the Reds to be, and everybody is.
Right.
They have a good season, but boy, oh boy, when you start to see a myriad of issues, that's when you get concerned.
Well, the last highlight that I remember anybody being, I mean, other than the home run derby down at Great American where it was, 14-11? Who was
right.
that? Who was that against the D-Bags?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was when
Oh, D-backs. I'm sorry.
D-backs, who are actually right now not that bad, right? That's when the Reds fell behind, battled back multiple
Yeah.
times, and then that stupid, ridiculous, you start the extra inning with the runner
Man on
on second,
yeah.
and it's producing multitudes of runs. But anyway, that's the last. Yeah, since
Well, we covered off on this a little bit on Thursday night. This whole idea of the runner just being put on second. I mean, this is our this is our life now. You don't even have to earn second base.
Right.
We're just going to put you there and see what happens. And you were talking about this, and I would love to see this at the end. You know that, I mean, this is a game of stats, and if MLB doesn't have them, Lance will have them.
Oh, he will.
But that is the number of floodgates opened in extra innings by putting someone on second base.
Well, and it's funny-
psychological to the pitcher, I would think,
It's
if nothing
funny
else.
What you just brought up, because you're right. Everything's been all about shortening the game and doing this or that. You know what? You're going to watch. If you don't like baseball,
Doesn't
chopping 12 minutes off a game isn't going to matter. But you're right. So now where we are is just, you know what? I'll tell you what. Let's just make it easier because God forbid, if we go 16 or 17 innings, the bullpen's going to be taxed. So what?
Right.
That's why you're supposed to build a good organization.
It's called strategy.
Right. I mean, to me, but you're right. if it takes more and you got to think harder and you got to work more to get it done,
don't have to earn it.
Let's just make it easier.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think they're approaching the problem. It's like they look at the problem. It's not enough new people are interested in baseball, and the way that they're addressing it is pissing off the people who are interested
Well,
in
think about
baseball.
this.
So it's like, where's the middle of that mess?
We've forgotten the easiest one. What about? I used to love it when you used to get a double header, right? If you're a fan, that was 2 for the price of 1, man. I get to go and there's a little break between. I grab something to eat. Now there's 7 innings.
I'm okay with that one.
Are you?
I'm fine.
But
with
it's
that
not.
one.
But that's not what it's meant to be. Again, if you're not going to sit there for 9, why would you sit there for 7? What 7
Well,
makes it better?
If you were going to sit there for 18, 14 is just as good as far as I'm concerned because you're still getting a full day, doubled up baseball. You're getting the little break.
The only thing
if you can't win it in 7, honestly, not 9 on a doubleheader isn't going to matter.
The only thing I would tell you is there are too many games in the season. Now that I'd be all for, but why isn't that going to fly? Revenue.
Yeah,
Because players
and the Players
Association is going to be like, no, Fred can't get his money.
Well,
then get a job.
Lots of issues still to go with Major League Baseball and how to get more people. I would say the things like what you're doing with the Reds Youth Academy and everything is really, I mean, that is sort of the upcoming lifeblood of all of that. And I think as that continues on, you hope to see kids getting interested in baseball still. But you know what? It all remains to be seen. I think, like I said, you're trying to figure out ways to get new people interested in it at the same time pissing off the hardcore fans. So I don't know how that ends up. But I would tell you also, Castellanos' suspension isn't helping with regard to not just Reds fans. I think a lot of people looked at it and go, that's nonsense. The Cardinals clearly get preferential treatment. And so those things aren't helping either. I'm not sure that our commissioner is the right guy for the job.
No, but one good thing, fans are back. And I saw the UFC had capacity down in including
Well, they don't care.
No, they don't.
They wouldn't have cared from the
don't
beginning.
Care, but I got to be honest with you. And what's happened?
Right.
It's been fine. You know who was sitting with the peasants in the crowd? Just in the crowd?
No,
Tom Brady.
How about that?
I mean, he was.
He's a man of the people. I love him.
I thought you'd
He's
like
a great
that.
guy.
I know you're a big fan, so I thought I'd toss that out there.
It's great. Maybe they just toss him into the middle of the ring and let him pulp him out. All right, it's time for us to wrap up this edition.
We're done
Season
already?
2, Episode 11. Yeah, we got to get to the extras.
I know we do. We do. You're
This
correct.
job opportunity is just chomping at the
Can't
bit
wait,
to get
'cause
this.
I'm ready for a change.
This could be the shortest extra of all time. Well, no, it'll be close. All right, we're going to wrap this one up. Thank you guys for checking it out. Don't forget Wednesday, Christian
Absolutely.
Moorline, every Wednesday moving forward, 5 to 7 o'clock, rain or shine. We'll be down there. Music, beers, a little bit of talk, some gaming, trivia, all kinds of stuff. So make sure you join us Wednesdays, the Moorline Lager House, the outdoor beer garden, or the indoor beer garden. Either way, cold beers, great
We'll
menu,
be there.
lots of good stuff. We will see you there. He's Gamble. I'm Finn.
And we are
Out.